And hello and welcome again, everybody. Look across from me. Just look over there.
Here he is.
He's not dead in a ditch.
No.
He's back. He's
I
back,
know.
baby.
Baby.
This is the White Chocolate Podcast again, and
It
we're
is.
back together. Will is back
Finally.
from his, what was it, like 4-week vacation?
5.5
weeks, yeah. Basically tour around the country.
The entire thing.
Pebble Beach.
Everything.
It was just a golf tour
Just
around the
knocking
country.
them all down.
But no, we're back for episode 21, and we welcome you back for the White Chocolate Podcast.
We do.
I'm Dirk, and
I'm
that's
Will.
again. And so
Again.
thank you for sticking with us. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed our guest episodes with my son and my sister-in-law.
Absolutely.
We got some good feedback on that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're actually just going to move on.
Okay.
Well, I didn't include it because we're not doing blackmail today. We're doing bullet points.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We don't have to argue about
I'm
it.
not going to argue.
Should we just shut this down now?
I guess.
I'll
Let's
pack
just
up
pack
and go
it
home. We are coming to you live from BLG Studios number uno.
On.
And so we just wanted to share that with you, and we're glad. And he's back is the title of today's episode because he's there.
I am.
And I'm here. And this is now. Except by the time you watch this,
It won't be.
it won't be now.
No.
It'll be then. Yeah. All right, let's start with bullet points, segment 1. Bullet points, as you recall, these are things that just sort of we notice.
Mhm.
They're not worthy of necessarily a whole segment, not necessarily things we can live without,
No.
just weird things we see in the world.
Understood.
Okay. So I'm going to start here. I don't know if you have any this week, but if you don't, that's okay. I have about 5 or 6, and I'm just going to
7.
we're just going to 10 tops, and we're going to just blast. We're going to blast right through them. All right, here we go. Number 1. I'm not a big fan of bumper stickers on cars, generally.
I think we both know we aren't.
Right. However, there are certain ones that will make me laugh, certain ones that make me cry. No, but will annoy me. Certain ones I go, that's a good point. Certain
Right.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, I guess I'm a little hypocritical because I actually put one on one of my vehicles of something that I believe in. But anyway, and by the way, you get a pass for anything that has to do with autism or I support Down syndrome, anything that has to do with like a cause, breast cancer awareness, whatever.
Sure.
I'm fine with all that. That's not. But people that are trying to be too cutesy.
Yeah.
Here's one I don't understand. There's 2 in this category, and it's going to be a little bit of a hot take, so I'm going to tread lightly.
Uh-oh. I'm ready for it.
Well, no, I mean, it could get controversial, and we don't want to touch on certain things.
No.
The coexist one.
Okay.
And it usually has symbols of all different religions.
Okay.
And I get that. What a beautiful sentiment. But I don't know. I guess the gist of it is I feel like and I don't want to single anything out, but through time, different religions have done different things in the name of religion. And so that were not always good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were the Crusades, there was, there's all kinds of things that different people, but it's just, I guess I feel like not enough people in the world identify themselves anymore by religion, that I feel like it's also like a bigger one that gets me is the one people, one planet.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. It's usually a world.
Okay.
And then one people, one planet. I guess the idea is we need to take care of Mother Earth. But I'm not sure I understand what that does. It mean we just have to love each other, support each other? Like I get the coexist one better.
Yeah.
Like for you may believe something different than I believe,
but we're all going to get along.
Right, but we need to just allow live and let live.
Sure.
I love that. One people, one planet. Is there anybody that didn't already realize that, first of all? I mean, I know there are some significant famous people that are flat earthers out there, but, other than that, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I've never seen that one, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I go,
okay.
And so what?
That's me and Preston always say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
right.
And maybe it's just could be for pollution. Like we need to take care of the planet.
Sure.
It could be for
Agreed.
religion. It could be for, I don't know exactly. I just don't understand it.
Okay.
So that was just a thought that I had. I actually wrote, what the H does that mean? Like what um is it meant to be more of a conservation thing, like a green thing, or is it
But where do the one people come in then? Like
yeah,
we're all supposed to.
yeah, or is it a religious thing? One people meaning we're all God's children, kind of a thing. So
I,
I need clarification
I
on
got to do
that
some
before I
research.
can agree with it.
I got to do some research.
Or maybe they'll say means all that.
I guess you're signing on the dotted line then.
Sign on the dotted line.
That's what you're gonna. If they tell you it means all of it,
Oh yeah, then I guess
just
I'm
say
I'm
you're on
in.
board. I
I can
guess.
be in. Yeah.
I don't know.
But there's also sometimes there's certain groups that aren't equally interested in working together in every
Sure.
faction of the world,
Yeah.
whether it's a religious faction or like
Yep.
pollution, like America can do so much, but then you have, for example, China and India, which are the number 1 and 2 pollution
Polluters.
producers. So
Mhm.
do they are if you went to China, would you see a one world, one person, one
I've never been
planet?
to China, so I don't know.
You haven't been?
No.
Shanghai? Wasn't that? I thought that was
You
on.
haven't been there?
I thought that was your golf tour. I thought you
No,
played a
we
course in
didn't. We
Shanghai.
didn't hit Shanghai. We didn't go to China. We were in Japan, Indonesia.
Oh, Indonesia. My
Yeah.
fault. And my fault. Okay. All right. Let's move on. If anybody knows what if you saw one people, one planet, what would that mean to you?
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Number 2. There has to be a better way to clean the inside of your front windshield. It is impossible to get everything down to where the windshield meets the dashboard for me. I can't reach all the way down
Interesting.
to get the dashboard. I just or all the way down to the dashboard.
We just did a big car cleaning day here, inside, outside, a little bit of detailing. It is tough. You're right about that.
Well, and you're a more slender fellow, which means you probably can get a little closer to the front of the dashboard than I can. But
We
even
use
still,
the old paint. What's the flat thing
yeah,
on the paint that you
like
can
the paint stirrer or the scraper.
scraper, I guess.
Okay,
And then a cloth, and I just sprayed the cloth. We were good. And
that's
put
smart.
it in there and went along the
That's
edges.
smart. I feel like they should.
Shoot, hit my microphone.
That's okay. I feel like maybe at best the window should flip out. Like maybe it should be like a tilt out window, like you have in a
That's
car.
nifty.
The whole window could just.
That
And boy, think how easy. Oh my gosh, it would be.
would be nice.
And here's the reason I was thinking about it.
Convenience.
Convenience would be great.
Yeah.
Here's the reason I was thinking about it. My son is going to be taking over my old car, so I recently.
I like the new car, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I recently went out and purchased something for myself
Mhm.
because my son's going to purchase my old car from me for a very reasonable price, I should add.
Mhm.
And in the new vehicle, I just noticed that it would be nice if I don't know, like imagine one of the best things about a new vehicle is all the window glass is spotless.
Yeah.
You get in and you look out and you're
It's
like,
great.
wow. But I thought eventually it's going to wear down
Sure.
and I'm going to be very frustrated
Frustrated.
because it's going to be like my old window glass again.
Right.
It's almost worth paying the money to have it detailed just to get perfectly clean window glass.
We got Tay's car detailed a couple months ago.
How much, if you don't mind my asking? What's
I
it
don't
around?
remember.
Inside and out glass, like so
Everything.
almost so like it was being put on the lot to
Correct.
sell. Yeah.
Everything. I don't remember how much we
Okay.
paid. It was reasonable, or we wouldn't
I mean,
have done it.
100, 100 and a half?
No, it was more than that.
Okay.
But it was. Let me just frame for you. She doesn't always keep her car super clean. So I was okay paying a little more.
Right, once in a while.
Yeah. And we don't do. That was the first time we'd done it in a long, long time. Anyway, that thing was spotless. It was amazing. The windows were so clean. Everything was so clean.
It feels like you're buying a brand new car.
Getting in a new car again.
Even for $200
Yep.
if that's what it costs.
Yep.
I think my dad, every year we used to go on vacation. Before we'd go to the beach at North Carolina, my dad would have his Suburban. He had an old Suburban that we had forever. He would have it detailed. I never understood why he did it right before.
Instead of after.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I get it because it's nice to start with a clean, but then you go to the sand and you track sand all through it and then
Yep.
it's filled. But he'd clean the camper. He would wash and wax the camper.
Yep.
He'd get the truck detailed and you get in it and it's like buying a brand new car because they do such a good job. I don't know what their secret is, if it's just sweat and hard work or if there are special tools that help you get all the nooks and grannies out.
Unicorn tears, I think they use.
That might be it. That must be it. All right. Anyway, so that's the second one. Number 3. I'm going to try to hold this up here to the camera. And no, I'm not trying to get my. But you might notice, ladies and gentlemen, that right here on the finger of my tip is a nice little blister. It was ironic that I burned myself because I had just gotten done. I was working on a project,
Okay.
and using a hot glue gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how if you're hot gluing something, you can sort of touch the hot glue and it'll get on your finger and it burns, it hurts, but it doesn't burn.
Yeah.
And then you just peel it off.
Sure.
And I wasn't trying to do that. I just got some in an area that I didn't want it.
Right.
So I just went to wipe it off and I was like, and I thought, you know what? This is how my brain works. People out there, I know they're going to look at me and think I'm weird.
Yeah, I do.
It's a way to control your brain because as soon as you get that hot glue on your finger,
Mm-hmm.
you really, really want to get it off.
Right.
But it's not hurting you. It just hurts, if that makes sense. In other words,
I get what you're saying.
You're feeling pain, but it's not doing any damage.
Right.
And so I thought this is a good way to teach control over, this would be a good way to teach yourself control over your instincts.
Right.
Like to touch, it's hot, you want to panic, but I thought, what a good way to teach control over your instincts.
Mm-hmm.
And then ironically, the next batch of glue I put on too thick and I went to wipe it with my finger. And of course, too much got on my finger.
There you have it.
And it burnt the blister. But you know how certain people react instinctually, right, and they can't
jump reaction.
Right. And I thought, well, either that or they just panic in any situation. I thought, what a good way, because you want to panic.
Sure.
Like, get this off.
Yeah.
But it's really not doing permanent. It was, I don't know. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I thought so.
Yep.
Okay. I thought so. All right. Sorry. These are weird thoughts that I have, but I think about everything.
It's fine.
I always think about stuff. All right. 4, commercials.
Okay.
As a lot of people have done, we've sort of cut the cord, as the saying goes, for a lot of just general cable stuff. So we have like the cheapest package, and then we buy the streaming services with that.
Yeah.
I know you guys do that as well for a lot of things. I'm disappointed at the progress. It used to be if you paid for cable, way back in the day when I couldn't get cable because we lived too far out when I was a kid.
Gotcha.
Used to be that cable, the advantage was, hey, there's no commercials.
Right.
And then, okay, now you're paying for cable and you're getting commercials. Okay, whatever. And then you're paying for subscription services. And at first it was, hey, no commercials. And now it doesn't matter. You're paying and you're still getting commercials
everywhere.
Yeah. The other night I think we were watching The Office on Peacock. Okay, with my daughter and my wife. And all of a sudden, and this is a little bit sensitive, so if anybody's got particularly young kids around, I'm not going to use profanity or anything, but I look up at the screen, and my wife and daughter and I are all sitting there literally with our mouths hanging open.
Okay. So
because
it's not going to be a good advertisement.
We went,
I can tell.
What are we watching? There were 3 pubic hairs, curly, dancing on the screen, animated, advertising Venus Gillette or Gillette Venus women's razors to trim down there. And they're literally dancing on my screen. And I thought to myself, I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this. All I want to do is get back to the episode and find out, how Jim gets to Dwight the next time.
Right.
But instead, I'm literally sitting there watching
hairs
dance on my screen.
That's not what you want.
I'm paying money for. We work hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we put up with a good bit.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And if I'm going to spend $5 a month or $10 a month for Peacock or whatever it is,
you don't want to see the hairs dancing.
And by the way, when did that become? I'm going to sound old, but when did that become okay? Like, I mean, I understand, but isn't there a more discreet way to advertise?
Probably.
My daughter's 13. It was a little embarrassing for her.
Right.
Like, she's not naive,
right.
but still, it's like, is that family friendly? Like, of course, The Office, they could argue The Office isn't family friendly.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I'm paying for that. We're paying for these commercials.
Yes, you are. And you better enjoy every minute of it.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
I'd like $2
Right.
back for making. All right. My kids both did marching band.
You do have those.
As a matter of fact, they're in band camp right now.
They are.
My son's helping out now that he's graduated. My daughter is a
So
eighth
cool.
grader, but she's invited to march with the high school kids.
So cool.
Doctor's forms. They have to get cleared, physical.
Sure. Okay.
So the school requires get this physical form filled out by your doctor.
Okay.
We take the form to the doctor's office, and there's a $10 fee for the doctor to fill out the form.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
On top of the copay?
Well, there's no visit because she's already had a physical.
It's just $10 fill out this form.
Yeah, drop off the form, $10. You can pick it up in an hour or 2 hours when the doctor fills it out. I feel like I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it took you probably
7 seconds.
Yes. You literally check cleared. I mean, and then you sign your name. There's no real, we filled out name,
Right.
We filled out everything.
Fill it out for them.
You just have to go and check fully cleared. Or if there was some limitation, they would write that in.
Right.
But for my daughter, fully cleared, $10? Like, you imagine if we got paid $10 every time we signed off on a form at school?
That'd be nice.
But it's just a weird thing. Like but doctors sometimes get me anyway because they're also the people that go, if you're more than 10 minutes late for your appointment, we're going to charge you anyway and you're going to lose your spot.
Right.
But you can wait in the waiting room for an hour after your appointment time.
Of course.
For us.
Yep.
But we don't. So I don't know. I
don't think $10 is unreasonable. I think for what they're doing, it's unreasonable. I think if there was more to it, but there's not. So I guess it is unreasonable.
No, and you're kind of you already give them your business. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying you a copay every time I bring my kid in. Mm. The school's requiring this. This is not an elective.
Right.
I mean, I guess it is because my kid doesn't have to do sports. But it's a school related thing. So it just seems like it would be like the school charging you to get your kid's report card.
Right.
Because it's like, if you require me to get this form, I'm going to have to pay the doctor.
Right.
And so it's just one of those rackets that I feel like, gets a little old.
I think that's what it is too.
All right, Will, I'm going to put something, if you would care to open your phone. I texted you this picture. This is my last one. And I'm going to put this up on the screen for the audience to see. What I would love for you to be able to do is read this to me. It says not everyone can read this. I would like you to just read it to me.
The whole thing?
Sure. Or, a decent amount of it.
Oh, God. If you can read this, you have a strange mind, too. I couldn't believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. The phenomenal power of the human mind, according to the research at Cambridge University. It doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, that's good. Isn't that unique? I'm going to leave it up on the screen for a little while, but isn't that kind of neat? I mean, I've seen things like this before.
Amazing, huh?
But isn't it kind of cool that our brain really does decode?
Our brains are weird.
They are weird.
Not weird in a cool way. Weird in a good way. Not, not like whatever. It's just how
the power.
Yeah, how.
The power that I loved watching that show. I forget what it was, Brain Games, that was on TV.
Oh my God, loved Brain Games.
And how that your brain perceives things that aren't really happening. That
religiously when we were younger in my house.
Those of you out in audience land, if you haven't ever seen Brain Games, I forget what network it was on or what, but
was that Discovery? Was it
maybe?
I don't remember either.
But anyway, just search up Brain Games.
So fun.
Because they basically take you through and show you different scenes and different situations that your brain perceives things that aren't really happening. Mm-hmm. Or vice versa, that you miss things that are happening.
Yep.
So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with the audience because our brains, I am constantly amazed with our brains.
Agreed.
Segment two?
Segment two.
Unless you had any, did you have any thoughts to share?
I don't have any ones to add. Go ahead.
You said one funny thing about Deep Creek, Mead Lake, about when you walked into the restaurant, that it was a flashback from one of the observations we had before.
Oh, yeah. I was just telling you, it was funny. We walked into an ice cream shop up there, and Taking back to the Ebony and Ivory segment we did a while ago, things white and black people say. But we had gotten there, we had beaten the rush, we got there at the right time, and my brother-in-law let us know that we had gotten there at the right time. And man, we got here at the perfect time. And to
Yeah,
myself, I'm laughing.
because we joked about saying, what was the saying? Like, oh man, looks like we got here at the right time,
exactly.
or looks like we
And
just made it.
It was hilarious that
things that white people say. And your brother-in-law, of course, he's pretty pale.
He is.
Yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah.
So segment 2, we were going to talk about songs about me and just do a however many minutes you want to spend talking about your vacation, because I know
was gone.
You were gone.
It's not here.
You're gone for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And we tried to hide it. We tried to find somebody that was
Just
a lookalike to
couldn't
sit
find it.
in, but we couldn't. So, yeah. So, I was just going to ask, just give us a summary, and then I was going to ask for your favorite part. What is the best part about getting away?
Gotcha. So, yeah, we were up in Deep Creek Lake, McHenry, Maryland, Western Maryland, and that's where our family goes every year.
Just south of Accident, Maryland. That little town on 220.
That's
no,
south, or
you go through Accident when you first get off the highway.
To get to Deep Creek,
it's really weird. Accident, Maryland.
Yeah, you blink and you're through Accident.
Yeah, Accident has 2 streets, I think.
But yeah, we go up there every summer, and it's our favorite place to go. My kids absolutely love it, and I think that is becoming my favorite part about it. I have a lot of good memories there, but my favorite thing right now is how much my kids enjoy it and love to be out on the water and love to be in the water.
And for those that aren't in our area, Deep Creek is I'm assuming it's a natural lake. I don't think that's a man-made.
No, it's man-made.
Oh, is it man-made?
It's man-made.
Okay.
Like, there's actually the town, like they buried houses in the part of the town that, the heck?
I don't know, something flying around.
Oh.
Snatched it out of the air. Snatched it out of the air like Miyagi.
I think towards the dam of the lake. That's the deepest part of the lake. Yeah. If you're down far enough, you can still see buildings and stuff that they covered.
Oh wow!
Anyway,
so it's a huge lake.
It's like 71 miles of shoreline. It's very large. Yeah. It's absolutely
lots of little coves. And
it's perfect. It's perfect for our family because we don't always enjoy being out in the sun and on the sand or in the beach.
Right.
But we still get the water experience. We still get the water tube. We still get to be out on the boat, and we're not scorching hot on the sand. So it's perfect for us.
I think that would be perfect for a lot of people, because a lot of people enjoy the water part, but they don't enjoy the sand or the sun.
Right. And you're up in the mountains.
So temperature's better.
Yeah, you got probably about 10 degrees cooler than what we had where we are now. So if it was, I think the hottest it got up there was about 84, 85 degrees and sunny, and it was beautiful that day. No humidity. It was just nice. It was really nice.
That's wonderful. I put you on the spot. Is there a least favorite part other than leaving?
Right. Least favorite part.
Or are there any parts that you're like, I could take that part or leave it? Activities you do or nothing?
I mean, man.
Because even the drive, it's a beautiful drive.
It takes about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
As soon as you get past, say, Fredneck, Maryland,
once you get
west,
up,
you cross South Mountain and it's beautiful from there out.
Love it.
And part of that is what I drive every day. But once you get past me and you get out past Hancock, Maryland, and you get out on 68, and you're just in the mountains.
I love 68.
And it's just beautiful.
I think so. Here was my least favorite part this trip. We stayed on one part of the lake, and part of the town is towards the other end of the lake. In order to get there, you have to cross over this small bridge to get out of our area and back onto 219. Anyway,
219. I was thinking 220. I'm sorry.
It's
220, 221.
That little small bridge this year
was
shut down. So there was a detour, and it was not a huge inconvenience. It was about an 8-minute detour to get back onto 219.
But not what you're used to.
Not what I'm used to.
And that's the only main drag through that area.
Well, to get from where we were to 219. That's the
Yeah.
only. We had to go up through this neighborhood,
Yeah.
down, around, and
Yeah.
probably about 4 miles out of the way. But
I mean, 219 is the main vein.
oh, that
right
yeah, that
through.
is right.
So
right
when you
through
close
McHenry.
that bridge,
Well,
or was the bridge not that bridge?
not
Oh,
one of the
okay.
bridges over the water.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
bridge to get out of our portion of where we were staying, like down one of the coves.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought it was the one. Isn't there one right by the campground, sort of,
Yes.
that crosses the
Well,
water?
yep,
I
there's
thought you
one
meant
there.
that one.
No.
Okay.
So you can still use that one to get through where the state park is. That one's fine over the water. The one I'm talking about is like a very small bridge
Oh, okay.
that just connects you from where your cove is by the state park to 219.
COVID?
Yeah. And that bridge is probably about 25 feet. So I could see 219 from where we had to turn on the detour and then take about an 8-minute detour.
You could jump
yes,
across the
it was
opening.
crazy. So I guess if I had to pick something
The
this year, that
inconvenience.
was my lead. But it's just so beautiful.
And the week you guys were up there, where we are here in Dalesville, it was surface of the sun hot.
I heard it was scorching
for
hot
about
here.
3 days. So up there, you're looking at least 10 degrees cooler, maybe 15. And so, you guys are still getting 85, and we were approaching 100.
Cooking. Yeah. Normally the highest it gets up there is about 78, 79.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Which is beautiful.
It is. Up in the mountains, man.
I
Elevation.
think my kids love being out on the boat. My kids love being on that tube. Now that they're getting older, it's just so fun to watch them out on the tube, just laughing, giggling the whole time.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Crazy story.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is the last thing I'll say about it real quick.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I have more questions.
Okay, well then I'll tell this quick. So we stayed in the same house we stayed in last summer.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to name the house, but it is on the water.
Bears Retreat.
Sure, we'll call it Bears Retreat.
Okay.
Did I tell you the name of the house?
You may have.
Okay, I was going to say that was pretty.
Is that close?
Pretty
okay.
Weird that you landed on Bear because Bear is in the name of the house.
Okay, all right, interesting. Running bear?
No.
Okay.
Anyway,
grizzly bear?
We're done.
Okay. Bare necessities? I'm sorry, I do this to you. Will's going to kick me off the podcast pretty soon. Okay. Go ahead.
Do you want me to talk about it or no? Gosh. Here, that was me trying to think of more bear things and I couldn't just now.
Really?
Yes, I was.
Oh, because I thought you. I really think you sometimes get annoyed with me.
We stayed in the same house we were in last summer. Awesome house, awesome neighborhood. We love it. We love the neighborhood. There's a little par 3 course that's that you can just go out and play if you're staying in the neighborhood. It's great. Last summer, last day we were there, leak from the ceiling to the kids' room where they were staying, the bunk bedroom there.
No bueno.
Water pouring through the floor. Last day we were there. It was fixed. Pouring through.
Okay.
I mean, they had to come out, repatch, redo, dry, everything.
Wow. While you were there?
No, it was right. It was the last day. We were leaving that
okay,
day.
Okay.
So it just thankfully didn't happen.
Gotcha.
Got there this year. Leaking. So
same place,
same area, same spot, same kids' room,
so
everything.
Apparently not fixed.
Not fixed. Funny that it just how does that happen to us twice? So anyway, we're going through back and forth. My wife is frustrated. My wife, she's calling TaylorMade, which is the company you can rent up through there.
Okay.
They not super helpful this time, which is frustrating.
Right.
So my wife can be.
Your mama put down the foot.
She did.
Yeah.
She can be very
persuasive.
Very.
Listen, there are a few people that I would not want to tangle with, and I would always, if I was picking people in life that I would want to be on my side.
Yeah.
Your wife is one of those people. I would never want to have, if I knew her.
Yeah.
And I've never seen her be that ferocious.
No.
But I just know that when it comes to taking care of her family.
And she has a way with words. She's a good writer.
Right.
And she's good with the words.
I'm sure.
Anyway, so she went back and forth. We ended up having to move houses because eventually the water just shut off, which has never happened to us in the 14, 15 years I've been going up there with my family. Anyway, they put us in a much better house where there was running water, and it was just, that was probably the craziest thing that we've ever had happen up there.
Yeah.
Just weird
Yeah, that is
story.
weird. And I wonder why it shut off,
Not
unless it was
sure.
like a low
So
pressure,
what I
it
think
sensed a leak or something,
that's what it was.
like an emergency shut off.
That's what it was. It was an
Okay.
emergency shut off, and
Which I guess makes sense in a house that might sit empty.
correct.
Because
So
I know when we go away for long periods of time, I will turn off the main water to the house.
yep.
Because if a pipe breaks, you flood your house, and you have no way to know that.
Yep.
So
I'll send you some pictures, and maybe
Yeah.
we can put some pictures up
I would
of
love that. That'd be
us
beautiful.
on the lake and putt-putting and ice cream and my favorite pizzas up there. So it's just a lot of fun up there.
And you do enjoy the game of golf, and
Do enjoy
so
the
I know
game of
you
golf.
play a little golf while you're up there. So that's
Played
nice.
some golf. Didn't play particularly well, so I was a little frustrated about that. But
It's like people say with a lot of things, though, a bad day golfing
It's
is
a good
better than
day.
a good day at work,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
yeah, so it was fun. It was
That's
good.
awesome.
It was a good time.
I'm
glad
glad.
to be back though.
Are you?
No,
Yeah, except for your bed. If you took your bed at home
agreed.
and moved it to a house at Deep Creek,
That would be
the
solid.
podcast would be over.
That's it.
I'd have to drive 2 hours to Deep Creek. Anyway, all right. Well, that's cool. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
Okay, and we're back for segment 3. We're going to do a version of Make the Cut.
Make the cut.
By the way, you held up 3 fingers. It's Make the Cut.
That's right. That's why I did
3
it.
words, 3 fingers.
That's why I did it.
Segment 3. We each have prepared a list of 10 things, and I'll put it up on the screen so we don't have to hold up our whiteboards. But we are going to ask each other to take a minute to look at a list of 10 things and figure out which 5 we'd keep.
Keep 5, cut 5.
And which 5 we'd cut.
That's
we did
right.
this once before, and we're going to try it again. May I give you mine first?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to hand my list to Will, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm going to ask Will to keep 5, cut 5 on these things that are childhood toys. So on the list, Will, would you care to just read the
Yep,
list?
sure. I was just looking.
I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Yep.
So
We got the yo-yo. We've got the jump rope. Simon. Is that Simon Says?
no, like Simon,
like the red, blue.
Yeah, where you follow the pattern.
Okay. I was colorblind, so.
Oh, I guess Simon will be a quick cut.
Legos, action figures, stuffed animals, skateboard/scooter. That's 1. That's 7.
Mm-hmm.
8 is video game. 9 Rubik's Cube. 10 Hot Wheels or Matchbox cars.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you to keep 5 and cut 5.
I would love to keep 5 and cut 5, Dirk. And I'm going to tell you right
now, right off the bat, you're leaping to scratch one off.
I am. No. I was leaping. I was actually leaping to keep one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's hear. What are we going to keep?
Do I circle it or do I just?
You can circle it.
Okay.
You don't even have to hold it up because I'm going to put it on the thing. Yeah. So I would say circle.
So I'm just. I'll just put a check mark next to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep Simon.
That's a surprising.
It is. I just threw you off with the colorblind thing. I am obviously colorblind, but
you
I can
tell
see the lights
the difference.
when and I like following and trying to remember. I do like that.
You have. I know you hate it when I say this.
I don't want you to do it,
but you have a great memory.
Okay, thank you.
And actually, your children do too, or at least your son does. I haven't seen your daughter's memory in action, but
Gotcha.
Your son's memory is amazing. So it doesn't surprise me that you like memory games.
I'm going to move for my first cut. I'm going to just get rid of something that I don't have a problem with. I'm just not and never was very good at, and that was the yo-yo.
I can't yo.
I was very terrible. I could never. My friends could walk the dog, and I couldn't do any of that.
While they yo-yo? Oh, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know what? I yo'd.
Okay.
Because it would go down
and wouldn't come back
and
up.
Wouldn't. Yeah.
Here's the second one I'm going to keep. I'm just going to go keep, cut.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm going to keep Legos. I played with
It's
Legos.
A smart toy.
Played with Legos all my life. Not all my life, but throughout my childhood. Loved Legos. Had some of the build your own stuff. And then just being creative and being able to build whatever you wanted was awesome too.
What was your favorite? The build your own, like you just get a box of Legos, or the ones that are like a kit where you follow the directions?
I think the build your own.
Okay.
I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but I just like building castles and houses and
yeah.
And I think when I stopped playing with them is when it really got popular to do the build your own more, because I know that's super popular now.
See, I think the kits. I could be wrong. I think the kits are newer than the build your. I feel like when I was little.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay, okay, sorry.
It's more popular now to do the kits.
Right.
It's more popular now to get the kits.
Correct.
As opposed to build your own.
Yeah.
The next one I'm going to get rid of right away. Not because I'm hating on it, just because I never had interest in it, was the Rubik's Cube. Never had interest in the Rubik's Cube. I respect and I like watching people do it.
for a toy
Just
that's
never.
so old and so simple,
Mhm.
not in design. Our kids at our school still bring Rubik. Like
I
it,
see 'em.
it circles around.
Yep, I see
Kids
him.
that solve it really.
Yep.
And like, who was it? PB. I won't use his real name.
Paul Blart,
Yes,
the mall cop.
but he's in my band, and
Mhm.
he's
Yep.
he brought one in, I think, and was just like and solved it.
Getting it done.
I don't get that.
The next one I'm going to keep is video games.
Okay.
I always have loved video games. Started video games when I was playing Nintendo when I was younger. The original Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Not a surprise. You are a video games. Pretty much, I was the first generation. I think I was 5 or 6 when the Atari came out.
Gotcha.
Maybe even younger.
Gotcha.
So I think I was the first generation. And it's so weird now because I feel like I shouldn't like video games at 50, but
you still do.
But I do. I love them. So
this is getting tough now. So I had like my 5 immediates, and now I'm struggling a little bit.
What do you have left?
I have Hot Wheels left.
Okay.
I have skateboard and scooter.
Okay.
Stuffed animals, action figures, and jump rope. And here's where I'm stuck because stuffed animals. Are we just talking about
stuffies? Little,
so like little things. Okay, so
I mean,
I guess
not like anything from Beanie Babies to the giant bear you win at the carnival.
Okay, so here's what when I was younger, I had a lot of the wrestling buddies. They were called wrestling buddies, and they were stuffed, wrestling figures that you could wrestle. And
so do they count? Yeah,
a lot of time. So if they don't count, then that'll make it easier for me to cross that off. And
I would say, you tell me whether you want to count them as action. They're not really action figures, but you play with them like action figures.
But they're stuffed. That's why I was confused. Yeah. I'm going to say they're probably not stuffed animals.
Okay,
and animals is like obviously not human beings. So I'm going to cross it off.
Okay.
I'll cross off stuffed animals. Was never really into stuffed animals. I was into the wrestling buddies, but that's about it.
Gotcha.
The next one I will keep. No, I'm going to cut another one right away. I'm going to cut Hot Wheels and Matchbox.
Okay.
And that hurts me because I had those when I was younger. But there are ones that I spent more time with on here.
Okay, that's tough for me because that would make the cut, I think.
It's hard. It was difficult.
So can I share a brief story?
No.
Okay.
This is my time, not yours. No, go ahead.
When I was young, we lived in the basement as my dad built the house we lived in. Mm-hmm. He built the basement first. We moved into the basement, and we had concrete floors. And I was allowed, because before they put flooring in and stuff, when we lived down there, it was just plain floor.
Yeah.
It was unfinished. I was allowed to take chalk and draw roads and cities in my mom's laundry room and then play with my Matchbox. And boy, Matchbox cars cruise on smooth concrete.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so I was like, I could draw little cities and draw a bank and draw a gas station and just pull. It was 2D, but it was still
a lot of fun.
It was a precursor to like all the maps and cities that they then sold later,
Very cool.
That was a lot of fun.
So
if you'd have been there, you could have built Lego buildings and we could have made a city.
I've kept 3 and cut 4. I'm going to keep another one here. And I'm going to go to action figures.
Okay.
As a keep.
Yeah, okay.
And I had a lot of action figures when I was younger and played just like you see Andy on Toy Story, setting up imagination. Love that. Love watching my kids do that now.
Yeah.
Love that.
I don't think I did a lot of that.
I had like dinosaurs, animals, people.
And you would do stories?
In my head.
Movies. Essentially.
Cinematic adventures, if you will.
I
Scorsese.
Don't see why I wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Left on here we have jump rope, skateboard, and that's it. Skateboard and scooter are my last 2.
Yeah, and you could put anything with wheels, rollerblades, anything in that wheelie one.
Okay. I am going to cut jump rope.
Okay.
Which I did a lot of when I was younger.
Okay.
So
that was a guess. I figured you might like jump rope.
Elementary school, I was jump rope for heart, and I was
went all day. You were the marathon man.
And I'm going to keep skateboard and scooter. More of a scooter than a skateboard when I was younger.
Okay.
When we did skateboard with my friends, it was sitting on them or laying down on them, lunging down this big hill that we had.
Okay.
And that was fun.
Was that near where the house that you showed me, where you grew up?
That was actually when I was living up towards Imesville.
Okay.
And I would go to my babysitter's house. They had kids. They had a huge hill, and we would just luge on that thing, and we could control it, and it was a lot of fun.
Do you know what? When I was younger, I tried skateboarding for a while until I realized I'm way too clumsy. The scariest part, I went to a guy named John Bowling, who was a buddy of mine and lived in Middletown. we would go to his hill, and he lived on Bidle Hill Road. The name was in,
Right.
it was all hill.
Right.
And we would launch from his yard and try to go down the hill and escape. The scariest part is when you get to that point where you realize, I am now afraid, I need to get off this, but you can't
get off.
So the only way to do it was to ride off the shoulder into the grass and
yep.
then just take a tumble.
Yep.
But it was basically, how long could you stay on before you just couldn't handle? Yeah.
Yep.
Because at that speed, a little lean on a skateboard,
oh, you're done,
and you're toast.
Yep.
Or a pebble. Oh my goodness.
So I kept Simon.
Okay.
Kept Legos, action figures, video games, and skateboard/scooter.
All right. Very good.
All right.
All right.
And I'll hand yours back, and then I'll hand mine over to you. And you are going to be working through some appetizers today, Dirk.
Ooh, I
some
like
appetizers.
this.
So if you could read out the list to the
to
three
the
people listening.
Yes, for both of you out there. The apps are nachos, bread and butter, onion rings, mozzarella sticks. I already don't like this. And also I'm hungry. Chips and salsa and queso, wings, the bloomin' onion, buffalo chicken dip, pigs in a blanket, spinach crab dip.
Spinach or crab dip. Yep.
Spinach or crab dip. All right, so let me start with...
What are you crossing off, or what are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm going to take one out right away. I'm going to get rid of pigs in a blanket.
I figured. I put it on there as a helper, actually.
To give me something to cut?
To give you something to cut, because I figured the other stuff would last.
I'm not even sure I know what that is. Is that like a hot dog baked inside of a...
croissant? Or like a...
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. But, it's more, I feel like, at Super Bowl parties or football games. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, goodness gracious. I kind of wish you wouldn't have done this to me.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. In light, I love bread, but I'm thinking that might be a go, because in lieu of all the other good things on here. But let me look around. One that is not going anywhere is the bloomin' onion.
Okay.
I love onions, and I love that spice. And sometimes I'll tell you, we do the maneuver where whatever we're getting out, but we'll also just call in a bloomin' onion for pickup and take it home.
Oh, nice.
With whatever so we might get burgers.
Yeah, but
we just want a bloomin' onion.
Bloomin'
so we'll call
I love it.
Outback and just get.
So here was I put that on there to try to help you. Oh, never mind. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay, all right. Because you don't want to give anything away.
I don't.
I'm gonna ditch the buffalo chicken dip.
Okay. I don't like spicy things, Dirk.
Yes. Or
hot things. I will crush buffalo chicken. I don't know what it is.
Well, there's enough other stuff that mitigates the heat, maybe.
I guess, but that's a little bit of spice with the cheese and that the crunchiness of the chip.
Let me tell you, you know how, and again,
get some pita bread with it. Stop! You better stop playing with me. Come on now,
your boys.
Come on.
When we were teaching, and you introduced me to Noodles and Co. because I hadn't been to Noodles and Company. And then you got the barbecue chicken
barbecue pork mac and cheese.
Barbecue pork mac.
They don't do the pork anymore. They do chicken now. So
right. Okay. So, and then I went to the one near me. They didn't have it.
No.
They now have barbecue chicken mac.
Or buffalo chicken mac.
Buffalo chicken mac. The buffalo chicken mac, though, let me tell you, that when that touches
spice
the buds of my taste. Both.
Okay.
It's delicious. Now, my wife tried it. She prefers the barbecue chicken mac.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the portions are, as a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to get for dinner tonight? Because now I'm talking about it.
Hey.
I love that. So thank you for introducing me.
You sure you want to get rid of buffalo chicken mac? I mean, buffalo chicken dip then?
Yeah, I'll get rid of the dip.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not a dippy person, generally.
It hurts me.
I know. I'm not a saucy person.
Understood.
All right. I'm keeping mozzarella sticks.
As you should.
There's nothing wrong with fried cheese any day of the week. So got 2 down and 2 up.
Okay.
Nachos. Hot take here.
All right, I want to hear it because it might not be hot for me.
I'm gonna ditch nachos.
Thank you. I'm not a huge fan of them either.
Too messy.
Agree.
You can't get the right, and when the cheese is melted and then starts to solidify again, you can't get everything
that you want.
Right.
Here's my nacho.
And then there's always chips underneath that have nothing.
I'm not a huge fan of, you're going to be mad at me, but all the extra stuff on top. If you just give me chips, melted cheese, and side of sour cream, or beef or whatever they put on top of it, fine. But I don't need all the guac and stuff to make the chips soggy. I want my chips to be crunchy.
I'm not a guac guy at all,
Okay,
so that would
okay.
be an
So
instant no. But
anything on top,
I
though.
agree, but I
The
do
corn, all the extra stuff is unnecessary for me.
sometimes ground beef or some kind of chicken meat or something is
That's why I said the
good.
beef. Yeah.
Yeah. But even that, the grease can sometimes make the chip
Yep.
soggy, or
Agreed.
when you go to hold it up, the chip is completely
Flimsy.
limp
Yeah,
and
I
it
don't
can't
like that.
hold anything.
Don't like
And
that.
besides, like I said, it always gets to the point where one chip has everything because that was on top, and then you get to an under
And there's
chip,
no. So
and that
here's
under chip
so
is left
then
behind.
here's my argument for the dip. Because
Equal
on
amount.
dip, you get exactly what you want. The chip goes from crunchy to crunchy and stays that way the whole time.
And
It's your
yet,
list.
you blasted me when I said something about adding the milk first to cereal, and then you just add a little cereal at a time because it keeps the cereal
That's
crunchy.
just backwards. That's just wrong.
I know it's backwards, but it works. All right, here we go.
You're
So
right.
we're down 3 and we keep 2.
Okay.
There's no way that I can eliminate onion rings. So that's a keeper.
So so this is what I put both of them on there to hopefully allow you to eliminate, since you're getting onion with one. I thought maybe you'd be able to. So you just
I'm an
keep
onion
the onion.
lover.
Okay.
I'm
Let's
an
keep both
onion
onions.
lover.
Okay.
Now, the only, like chips and salsa, fine, but it's not a go-to for me
Mm-hmm.
unless it's, and I know some people say they're terrible or they're good or whatever, they don't get it. I do love the queso from Chipotle and their chips.
I don't like the queso from Chipotle.
Yeah.
I love queso in general. I just
Right.
don't like that
Don't
queso.
like theirs.
Cafe Rio?
Never been there.
Come on now.
Never been there.
You better.
You'd take me?
I'll take
Let's
you.
go right now.
Fine.
All right. So,
I thought we were getting ready to go.
all right, spinach crab dip.
Off.
That's gonna be a go.
Yep. Take it off. You don't like the dips?
I love crab.
Oh, crab dip is so good.
It is good
With warm
bread.
pita bread.
Yeah, yeah. Stop it now, boy. All right, so I got 3 down, 4 down, 3 keepers.
Okay.
That's good. I got to eliminate one of what's left.
And keep 2.
And
Right?
keep
There's
2.
3 left. Okay. And
There are 3.
What are the
I
3?
have bread and butter left.
Okay.
I have chips and salsa / queso.
Okay.
And I have wings.
Okay. Let's go ahead and keep the one you're supposed to keep right away.
Wings.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, they're just amazing.
Yep.
So there's that.
All right.
And
Now-
then it's down to chips and salsa or bread and butter.
Okay.
Okay,
Can I paint the picture for you?
please do.
Here we are. We're sitting at the table. We have a fresh batch of chips that just come out, well salted, and you're
You
getting
had me at well salted.
and you're getting the warm queso dip, not from Chipotle, but a very nice restaurant, and it is amazing. But then you also have, on the other hand, a warm loaf.
I just made a circle.
Oh, did you?
But go ahead.
No, I don't want to. If you already,
I want to hear both arguments.
you have
before I
a
make my
warm
decision.
loaf of bread that has just been brought to your table, and one of those big knives, and you cut into it, and you see that steam come out of that bread, and you slice through it, and it's like you're slicing through butter already.
What kind of butter? Is it the butter, the honey butter in the tray, or is it the little pads of butter?
No. Here's the thing. You have cinnamon butter, honey butter, and regular butter all in the little cups, and you get to put on the portion that you like.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to ixnay, and here's why I'm picking it.
I want you to tell
you
me
flat out.
Yep.
I'm going to go on the average.
Okay.
I'm going to place the average. On average, if I went to 10 different places and had chips and salsa or chips and queso, would I like that better than 10 different
I think
places
that's
bread
fair.
and butter?
So what do you got? What do you keep?
I'm gonna keep chips and salsa or queso.
All right.
Because I think that's more consistently good than bread and butter. A good bread and a good butter, wonderful. But even at a steakhouse, then they bring out the loaves.
Yep.
The bread, it's hit or miss sometimes because it can be cold or it can be
like the ends can be very hard.
And yes, and
I'll
you
tell
cut
you
your
who
mouth.
has really good bread.
Yes.
Not butter though.
Okay.
They do the olive oil with the seasonings in the olive oil is Carrabba's.
Oh, see, I
it
don't
is
go to
always
Carrabba's much.
warm and so good.
Is that like an oil to dip the bread
Yep,
in?
and oil and the seasoning in the oil, and you dip the bread, and that whatever the seasoning is that they put in, it is so good.
I love bread. My mother-in-law makes bread just for me when she does family meals because her family not big bread, but I'm. So here's what we got. We got to keep onion rings, mozzarella sticks, chips and salsa or queso. By the way, if you had to pick one, which would you pick?
between
Queso or
Oh
salsa?
my god, I don't even like salsa.
Okay.
So it'd be queso.
I like both, but I would
love
pick queso. Yeah.
Love queso.
Which is just cheese in Spanish. Fernando could tell us that
Oh, okay.
if you watch.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Wings,
Mm-hmm.
bloomin' onion.
Yep.
Those are my 5.
Yep.
Ironically, I kept 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I didn't plan on that. And then I'm ditching nachos.
Yep.
Bread and butter.
Get it out of there.
Buffalo chicken dip.
Don't
Pigs in a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Spinach crab dip, which is a little tough because I do like crab. When I used to go see Neil, my friend Neil who played music, we'd go to the Annapolis, and the Ram's Head has this great, well, it's Annapolis, it's on the water,
Right.
but they have this this bowl of crab dip with bread, and they bring it out, and I would get that every time we'd go see him at the Rams. I think it's Ram's Head Live that's in Annapolis, but we would go right on Main Street, and it's fresh because it's Maryland's crab.
Tell you what, have you ever been to Dutch's Daughter?
One time for my buddy Josh's wedding reception.
There's a Dutch's in Deep Creek. We go there once when we go up there, and they have the best cream of crab soup. I'm talking jumbo lump crab meat in it, and I am huge into crab.
So when you make your trip out to the Mead Lake, do you get the crab dip almost every time, or the crab soup? I mean, when you go to the Dutch's Daughter?
Yeah, every time. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Either Maryland. Actually, some people got French onion this time, but most are getting cream of crab or the Maryland crab.
French onion would be a tough call for me because that Gruyere cheese that they put on top. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
That's okay. Are we doing 2 or are we doing 1 for the?
It's up to you. We can quit here.
Okay.
Let's
all right.
quit
Then
here.
We're good.
What were you going to do with the numbers?
I thought if we were doing 2.
Oh, you were going to rewrite?
Yep.
Yeah, I had a second one prepared, but you know what? I think that's good time wise.
We'll
save it for another time.
Yep. Cool.
All right. Let's go on. We're going to do segment 4 now. Maybe eventually when we do these cuts, we pause, ladies and gentlemen, because we have to prepare and we don't want to waste your time while we're getting things set up. And we can't always do it ahead of time because we have to move things around. So thanks for bearing with us. I know it's no time for you, but if we feel that downtime, and it always feels like we're delaying them, but they don't have to deal with it. So the joys of our post-production crew and their crack staff. Thank you, fellas.
Appreciate y'all.
Throwing a little applause here. So segment 4 we're going to do is we're going to bring back a favorite, snake oil, and we are going to try to sell each other on some non-existent products. So it's up to you. Would you like to sell me first, or do you want to be sold?
Sell me.
Okay.
I'd like to be sold.
So then, please to be telling me.
Listen.
What you're going to be.
I am going to be, for this one, a space.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my cards.
I am going to be a space colonist.
Okay. So you are colonizing in space.
I am. I feel like I can put this down now, can't I?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, I think you can.
Space colonist. And I need something for my adventure.
Okay.
And that something is going to be what?
Will, I got it.
So stupid.
Because we're trying to be serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Will, you're up in space.
Right.
You're on a planet. Mm-hmm. Things don't work the way they do down here on Earth.
They don't. I've learned that.
Gravity?
Nope.
Gravity different?
Not the same.
Air different?
I hope there's some.
Your digestive system is one thing that you don't expect to work differently in space, yet it does. For example,
really?
Well, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. When you're above, say, 10,000 feet, like people that hike, or actually it's higher than that, 20 couple thousand feet.
Sure, yeah.
When you hike Mount Everest,
12,000.
This is true.
You
can Google me right.
Okay.
When you get to the top of Mount Everest, I've read John Krakauer's book, Into Thin Air. Mm-hmm. Highly recommended if you're into adventure. Anyway, your digestive system starts to not work properly. I don't remember why he said that is. I don't know if it's the air, the pressure, the lack of oxygen. Mm-hmm. But your digestive system starts to malfunction.
Okay.
You can't digest food the normal way, so it makes it hard for you.
Yeah.
So your digestive system doesn't really work. Okay. In space, that's a little higher than Mount Everest.
A little bit.
Just
a smidge.
So you're not going to be able to eat well.
Okay.
You can't process the solid food, the liquid. And liquid, it's like, where is it?
Right, sure.
So what I'm going to sell you is a delicious form of refreshments when you're in space. I'm going to sell you nacho foam. Okay. Now, nacho foam Comes in a spray can. Okay, comes in a spray can. So,
Okay,
but it's
perfect.
like nachos. We were talking about not liking nachos earlier.
Yeah.
But this is a foam. So it's not liquid, so it doesn't just like float around in little droplets in space, because it's weightless, no gravity. And it's not a solid that your body has to digest.
Okay.
So it's a foam. It comes out like a foam.
You mentioned.
And that's because I'm stalling. So this foam you spray into your mouth.
Directly
and it's
in
not, it's not too, think about like a spray cheese, except it's more like a shaving cream consistency.
Ooh.
But no, Will, because
sorry.
it tastes like nachos.
Okay.
And unlike the nachos where you don't get a little bit of everything on, it's mixed.
Full.
So it's like a
nacho.
And that nacho foam, you spray it in your mouth, there's no need for chips. Okay. However, if you are colonizing a place where you do have a gravity machine, which enables Earth-like, situations in the colony, then you can spray it on a plate and use chips to dip it. Okay. And it is like a guac.
It's like guacamole?
But I mean, not in taste, but in consistency. So it's like you can dip it like a guac if you're inside. Now, if you're out with the family and you have your little helmets on and stuff.
So the chip flavor is not included in the foam.
Did I say that?
You did. You said you could use a chip, but I'm just asking.
Maybe there's different flavors.
Oh,
I mean,
that would be nice.
I mean, there are different flavors.
Oh,
so like,
well, that's a selling point there.
I should have mentioned it.
You should have.
So the chip foam, or the nacho foam, could be different flavors of nacho. You could have chicken nacho, spicy, but for you, a more mild.
Sure.
Chip included, chip not included. So when you're home, you could have your nacho foam.
I like that.
It's easy to digest, because you're up in space, and yet it won't fly around.
Sold.
Sold on nacho.
Sold on nacho foam.
That was what made me laugh, and it just happened. I was like, hey, you need some nacho foam up in space. Well, I'm going to be.
Yeah, what you gonna be?
I worked really hard, Will.
Okay.
And I just graduated.
Oh, you're a graduate.
I am a graduate. There's the card you can see, hopefully. I'll try to figure out the camera, make it focus. So I am a graduate. Mm-hmm. What do I, as a graduate, need to purchase from you? Fresh-faced, ready to take on the world.
I think I have something in store for you. Give me 1 second while I pull it up here.
Yes, I understand.
We're going to give you...
This is such a tough game.
So dumb.
But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the game.
Okay. This is what every post-grad needs. And
that's me.
It is something that not only is it useful and gives you things that you need, but it's fun at the same time.
Okay.
This is the surprise quilt. Okay.
Surprise quilt. I can't wait to hear about it.
Listen, every graduate that has this is going to have a nice warm quilt to take with them to college, if they choose to do that. If they choose to stay home, they'll have a quilt there. But the interesting thing about this quilt, the surprise quilt, is each quilt square has a surprise within it.
Wow.
Yeah. Technology.
It is. Does like some nacho foam or?
Yeah. And so here's how it works. Let me explain this to you real quick.
Yeah, please. Please do.
Yeah, please.
Does it come with instructions?
Yeah, it will, but you don't need instructions. Okay. Really. What you're going to do is, inside each square of the quilt, there's going to be some sort of surprise for you. You don't know what it is because it's a surprise.
Okay.
But it's going to be something useful for you to have either in college or at home.
That's smart.
Yeah. How you do it's a scratch and sniff quilt.
Okay.
And
whatever I smell is what I get.
That's what you get.
How does it come to me then?
Through the quilt. It's a magic quilt.
Magic quilt.
Did you not hear me say
I'm sorry. I thought I heard surprise quilt, but I forgot the magic.
Magic is beginning.
Gotcha. So I smell it, and then it appears.
It appears through the quilt, through that quilt hole. And so
the quilt what? written there on the cards? Is it?
Yeah. And so, say you're in your dorm room, and you want to take a hit of that magic quilt or the magic surprise quilt. Scratch one of those squares.
Mm-hmm.
Sniff. It smells like, what's that? What is that? It smells like laundry detergent. Oh. And now you have laundry detergent for
to
your
do
room.
my clothes.
Crazy how that works.
That's great. And that would be helpful because, you have dirty laundry.
Sure.
And you need something to clean it with.
Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to offer that to you just in case you were going off to college.
What would you say is the best gift? Now, are they random or are all the surprise quilts the same? Like if I buy two, will they kind of have the same thing?
No, they are randomized, and
Okay.
but they are all products that one is going to need post-graduation.
And could you give me just, other than like the soap, could you give me just like two other examples of things I could get in the
Sure,
magic quilt?
yeah, of course.
I mean the surprise quilt?
The magic surprise.
Magic surprise quilt.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting the magic. It says it right on the box.
It does. One of them that I know we just put in there are shower shoes. So
I just got dizzy on shower shoes. Lordy.
When you're in your dorm,
like I'm
you don't
actually
always
dizzy.
want to barefoot in the shower with everybody else using it. So sometimes shower shoes come out.
That's fair.
Shampoos, soaps, toothpaste.
That's fair.
Yeah, and every once in a while you can get a magic surprise quilt and some snacks come out of there.
Now that would be amazing.
So late night, yeah.
You know what?
I'm actually crying.
I will enjoy a surprise magic quilt.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Thank
glad
you very
you'll take
much.
that. Yep.
All right, Will, would you care to share with me
Sure.
your next occupation?
I am this time going to be
goodness.
a dog walker.
A dog walker. Oh, Lord. Let's see what I have here for you.
Oh,
gosh.
I want to tell you something real quick.
Yes.
I don't know how I'm going to turn these last four.
I'm working with these four. I really am struggling.
Yeah. These
okay. All right. A dog walker. All right. So you're walking the dogs.
I am.
And
it's my job even.
Things get out of hand sometimes when you're walking the dogs.
It gets chaotic sometimes.
Well, yeah, and dogs can break the leash, they
see other dogs.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So what this is, I want to sell you. This is really weak. I'm sorry. What this is that I want to sell you is I'm trying to scramble to think if there's any better way to do it. The dogs have trouble. And when the dog catcher comes around, sometimes you forget, you're walking all these dogs, you forget their credentials. And you're like, oh man, the dog catcher sees you. He's like, let me see so what you need is a licensed mine. And this is a licensed mine it's a container, Will, that you put all the dog licenses in, like all the dog tags, because the owners have their, you have to have the dog stamp and all for your taxes.
Yep.
And so you want to keep the dog, the dog licenses all in one place. So they call it the license mine.
Okay.
And it's basically mine for gold, because it's as important as gold to have those licenses with you.
Especially when you're walking all those dogs.
And if one of the dog happens to get loose,
that's tough.
And the dog catcher with the big stick with the net on the end, he comes and he scoops up Fifi.
Oh, jeez.
And
Fifi.
you're running after, and he's going,
she got out again.
I could release him to you or her to you, but it's not a boy named Fifi. It'd probably be a girl.
Yeah.
I could release her to you if you show me the license. You say, her collar, I don't know where her collar went. I don't have and off with Fifi. And now, as a dog walker, you're held liable.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? Go to the pound and hope to find somebody that looks like Fifi?
I don't know.
And then substitute in. But you don't have to.
Okay.
You whip out the license mine.
Oh.
And we even put it in like a little treasure chest. And so you open it up and you it's like mining for gold, because this is as valuable as gold.
Okay.
You pull out Fifi's license and you show the guy and you say, listen.
How do I show him?
And you put it in his hand, and then he looks it over and he goes, okay, Fifi obviously, belongs to you as the dog walker. You're in charge.
Sure. Don't
let her get away again. And there you go. That's the license mine for Fifi.
And so
it'll hold up to 10 dog licenses at a time.
Wow.
Up to 10. So if you're walking a whole group of dogs, you shouldn't ever walk more than 10.
No, well,
the ASPCA represents, they specify in their dog walking etiquette that
10
you
to
shouldn't
1.
take 10 to 1
10 to 1
maximum.
ratio.
So you don't
I
need
remember
more.
reading that in the bylaws.
Yes. So that's my license mine.
I think that's going to help me. Here's what I have a question about.
Mm-hmm.
How did he know that was Fifi? How did you say he knew it was Fifi?
Well, he didn't know it was Fifi.
Okay.
He just was going to pick her up and take her to the pound.
And then I said, this is Fifi.
And running after with 9 dogs.
Okay.
And a leash that's chewed in half.
Yeah.
And I say,
that's my dog.
That's my dog.
How do I know it's your dog?
Right.
Well,
that's when you whip out the license from the license mine.
You thought it was going to be weak. That is I need that.
Okay.
I'm going to dig for gold.
Okay. You're going to mine for gold.
I am.
See, it's right there in the title.
Son of a gun.
All right.
Yeah, that's sold.
Okay, thank you.
Sold. I'll take that.
Thank you.
What is your job?
My job, I think,
this is going to be terrible.
I think this will be funny. I'm going to be a masseuse. I love, like Phoebe on Friends. I love to give massages to people. I love to bring them pleasure. And so you're going to need to find something that a masseuse could use.
Yeah.
A masseuse could use.
This is bad.
While you're thinking, I'll share this. It has nothing to do with masseuse, but it reminds me of doing things you like. I've been working lately. I just looked down at my computer and there's all these little pieces of black foam, like I've been cutting foam to try to make cases to hold our equipment and stuff. And all over my computer, there's like these little pieces of black
I don't know how to make this work. Let's go with a masseuse could use.
Yeah, something a masseuse could use. So anyway, I have all this black foam all over my computer.
This is tough.
I think because it's dirty.
I'm going to try to just pick 2 words and
come up with something on the
come
fly.
Up with something.
That's
because
the trick.
This is bad.
That is the trick.
We're going to go with so bad.
Is it worse than the mine?
It worked. That worked.
It worked okay.
These 4 words I cannot put together for some reason. Usually I'm not bad at this game, but this is terrible.
You drawing a blank?
It's just all right. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. As a masseuse. Yes.
Your hands get tired.
That's one thing I don't like about giving people shoulder massages.
It's crampy and knotty, and then you just feel like you have to do this all the time.
Yeah, they ache.
So what I want to offer you today to help you with that, I want to help you rectify that situation. And I'm going to offer you the slingshot spell. And here's how this works. This is a spell.
I hope you don't mind. I'm going to need a little bit of an explanation.
Yeah, I imagine the name is crazier than it really is.
Okay.
And we did that to grab your attention.
You certainly did.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm listening.
The slingshot spell, you're kneading and you're getting in there.
Yeah, nice and deep like.
Nice, yeah. And at some point, your hand, you can feel it. You know it's starting to come on your hands. Your wrists are getting tired.
Okay.
And you say, yeah, can you just give me 1 second here? Give me one minute. I'll be right back. Mm-hmm. You step out. You're going to grab your slingshot.
Okay.
And you're going to shoot this spell at the person laying on your table.
Okay.
And they are going to have all the same sensations of getting that massage
without me having
without
to use my
you
hands?
having to use your hands. Now,
wow.
So here's I don't want to say a downside.
Okay.
But here's where you have to be tactical about what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
So the slingshot spell only lasts for about 20 minutes.
I feel like that's a long time.
Well, if you have an hour-long massage,
Yeah, you're still on the hook for the other 40.
You're still on the hook for the about 40 minutes.
Well, yeah, because time to get in and
Sure.
get out. Yeah.
So what I'm telling you is I would save this slingshot spell.
Yeah.
You can use one per client.
Okay.
But you can't use more than one on the same client.
It's too powerful.
It is. We're working through that now.
Understood.
And we don't want to hurt anybody.
No. And let me ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
I have really bad aim with things. Like I never had a slingshot when I was a kid.
Okay.
So what if I miss? Am I able to take a second shot?
So listen, as long as you don't hit them the first time, you can take as many shots as you need.
Gotcha.
And there is a red dot on there to make sure that you can line up perfectly.
And do you aim it right on their back or wherever their tightest spot, wherever you left off?
Yep. Wherever your hands had left, that's where you're aiming to finish the massage. And listen, I just don't want you to get into the habit of overusing.
Understood.
You're still a masseuse. You need to do your job. But this is just to help you along when those hands get tired.
Some days are worse than others.
Agreed.
Cold weather.
That's
crampy.
Rainy.
Yeah.
So use this when needed, but it's going to help you along in your daily job.
As directed.
Yes.
One small question. Do I, when I shoot, so you say you go out of the room or whatever, you
just
go away, you can grab it while they're not looking.
Yeah, well, their face is normally down in the hole.
Because they're not looking at me, so I shoot them with this.
Yes.
Is it important that I go through the motions to make them think I'm still there?
Oh no, you'll stand near.
And just kind of, but I'll just kind of.
You don't need to do anything with the hands.
And still make conversation.
Yep.
No?
Or if they want to.
Right. I don't know. I've never had a massage. Do you make conversation with your masseuse?
No, not normally.
Is there music playing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's delightful.
You just fall asleep?
Yeah, I do a lot of times. Yeah.
Okay. I like, my hands anymore, as I age, do get crampy.
I figured.
And so I don't know how masseuses do that all day.
Yeah.
So if I were going to be a masseuse, I would.
You need that.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. All right.
I don't even want to do the last one.
Okay.
I mean, I will, but it's just going to be so bad.
Well, would you like to? I have 2 cards here, and I'm going to have to try to make something that you need. So,
okay. So
what is your job?
I'm Cupid.
You're Cupid.
I am Cupid.
Okay. As Cupid, in the United States alone, 50%, I think it's like 46% of couples get divorced.
It's a sad stat.
And that's a failure for Cupid. Okay. Because
he failed a lot.
Yeah. You shoot somebody with the arrow, you think you got the right match, and 46% of them get divorced, and your heart's broken because you lose confidence. What?
I was doing the math.
Oh, 46% get divorced. And it's sad, and it takes away your confidence.
It does.
And sometimes you just want to quit your job and say, the heck with love. Love is a farce.
Ain't that the truth?
But then, lucky for you, your company, the Cupid Company, sponsors just when you need it the most. At lunchtime every day, they have a belief lunch.
Oh, okay. And what does that entail?
You get a free lunch, you get a free meal. All
every
the
day?
Cupids. Yeah, every day.
Wow.
You're not, or as needed, I mean, maybe once a week, whatever. But when the company senses that because you're not the only Cupid.
No, that'd be crazy.
Too much work.
Yeah.
So all of the Cupids have the same, and they come into this lunch, the company, the Cupid Company, brings you into a lunch. Mm-hmm. Anything you want, there's beef and there's chicken and there's vegetables and there's cookout foods and burgers and everything. And they have a presentation up on the board. Oh. Yeah, up on the big screen.
Okay.
You float in and out, fly in and out because you're Cupid.
Yeah.
Get your lunch, sit down. You reminisce with other Cupids. You talk about your failures. But then we'll talk about your successes. And up on the big screen, think about this.
I'm thinking about
3 stories tall, like an IMAX screen.
Wow.
Are videos of couples falling in love, getting married, holding their first baby. Nothing about the negative.
No.
And all of a sudden, your belief in what you do and your belief in your cause is replenished, and it gives you the stamina to go out there and do it again.
Okay.
And every time you're down, it's every day, but you don't have to go every day. You can drop in anytime you want to this belief lunch. And at the end of belief lunch, you believe in love again.
Okay.
and you're ready to go out and make new
this is not
couples.
necessarily something I'm purchasing. This is just
No, it's a service provided by your employer.
Wow.
It's a benefit.
So I feel like that's a win-win. Then.
You don't even have to buy it.
I
Now,
don't
there's a small
I don't have
downside.
to go every day. That's the main thing.
Correct.
Because I'm not sad every single day, but there are days where I'm a little more frustrated.
Of course.
With love
Some
than
days
others.
all your loves work out.
Yep.
Other days they don't.
Not so much. Okay.
Other days it's,
so really
carving your name in his leather seats.
It's a way for the company to boost morale.
It is a way.
Okay.
Now there is one downside.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, I didn't want to tell you what this is.
Well, I think it's fair to disclose.
You don't get to pick who you sit with.
Okay.
So when you sit down, some of the cupids you really can't stand.
Hmm.
But even those cupids are there for the right reasons.
Sure,
and
they're doing the right thing.
It's a pick-me-up for everything.
I
And sometimes the food's cold.
Oh.
Not always. But
I don't like that.
The food vendor, they're cheap because they provide this a lot.
I
But
don't
wait,
like that.
I know, but wait. Think about it.
Doing it for the right reasons.
And what's worse?
Yeah.
Hating your job every day, or maybe a lasagna that's not heated all the way through. I mean, it's hot, but it's
Cool at some point.
yeah, the food's not the best.
Okay.
I
I will attend these
belief lunches.
I will.
Yeah.
I think because it is for the right reasons.
And you don't want to stop love.
I don't.
One people, one planet.
I want it to.
We need to coexist. So the belief lunches, you're up for it?
I will stop by a belief lunch and check it out.
Every day from 11:30 to 1.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
And your last job? This is it doesn't even matter.
Okay. Well, I'm Adam and Eve from the Bible.
What? That?
I'm Adam. I'm running around frolicking in the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
And I desperately need something. I'm just not sure what it is.
Well, I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay. Something tells me that it didn't matter who I was. This is what you were going to sell.
And
me.
you're going to take it. You're both Adam and Eve?
That's what it says. I'm Adam and Eve. I'm
Okay.
two people.
Well, here's what I can do for you, Adam.
Okay.
And Eve.
I mean, I could be one or the other if it helps.
You can be anybody you want to be.
Okay.
You are just sitting in that garden. That garden is full of fruits and veggies.
Mm-hmm.
What it's not full of is protein.
Mm.
And so
God did not create the animals yet.
what you need is a buffalo gang. Take it or leave it. Just kidding.
As is.
So here's why you need the buffalo gang. You're not getting all the nutrients you need from just the fruits that are in that garden. You need some sort of substance.
Soy protein doesn't do it for me.
No, and as
Sorry, Aaron.
somebody that likes to provide for their family, you need these buffalo to come by so you can cook some meat, get strong, get yourself right, get Eve right, so that you all can do everything you need to do in your daily lives without feeling fatigued.
Right.
You know, I listen. Here's how you're gonna take down these buffalo.
Okay.
They can talk to humans.
All of them can. You know, yeah, that goes without saying.
This particular buffalo gang can talk to humans.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the sole purpose of the buffalo gang is to provide substance to you and Eve.
They know their
That's why
purpose.
the Lord has put them there.
They know their purpose.
And so you say lay down, they lay down. You say stand up, they stand up.
They're like dogs.
Almost.
Well-trained dogs.
Well-trained dogs with horns.
And so,
anytime you need something from them, whether it be food or a ride, they're going to provide that to you.
wow, so it's like an all-encompassing
Buffalo gang.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And one falls out of the gang when you're hungry. Another one appears.
I gotcha.
So
there's always plenty there to take care of me when I need it.
And Eve.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
How much does it cost me? Because I don't have any money. God hasn't invented money yet.
Well, he's doing it for you, so it doesn't cost anything.
It's like your lunches.
It's like my luncheon.
It's just a service provided. Well, why wouldn't I go do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I'll take it.
There was no
way to
no
Buffalo
shot.
gang.
No
Well, I
shot
feel
with
like the
Buffalo
Adam and
Gang.
Eve made Buffalo Gang
Yeah, it was
harder.
tough, but still.
Because Buffalo Gang could have been the name of like a posse too
Right,
that protects you. So,
oh man.
oh well, that was a little bit tricky. Sometimes they are getting tricky. But.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to end with a joke. It's a little longer than normal,
Okay.
but ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed segment 4, snake oil.
If you could have come up with something better,
Buffalo Gang.
please put it in the comments because there's no shot.
I was thinking a gang buffalo could have been like the gang in your neighborhood or something.
Gotcha.
You know, it was gonna be...
Well, Adam and Eve, I didn't know if they saw many gangs in their neighborhood.
Yeah, they probably didn't. It was a good time back then. Let's see. This is about a husband and a wife and a police officer.
Okay, here we go.
The police officer pulls over the speeding car with a husband and wife in there, and the officer walks up and says, "Our patrol helicopter clocked you at 80 miles an hour, sir." The driver looks at him and says, "Gee, officer, I had it on cruise control at 60. Perhaps your radar needs calibrating. Are you sure?" Not looking up from her knitting, the wife in the front seat next to him says, "Now don't be silly, dear. You know that this car doesn't have cruise control." Not helping. She's trying to help. The officer writes out the ticket for speeding and looks at the wife and growls. The husband looks at the wife and growls, "Can't you keep your mouth shut for once?"
Right.
The wife smiles and says, "You should just be thankful your radar detector went off when it did." So then the police officer writes out another ticket for the radar detector. The man glowers at his wife again and says through clenched teeth, "Darn it, woman, can't you keep your mouth shut?" The officer frowns and says, "And I notice you're not wearing your seatbelt, sir. That's an automatic $75 fine."
That's tough.
The driver says, "Well, you see, officer, I had it on, but I took it off when you pulled me over so I could get my license out of my back pocket." The wife says, "Now, dear, you know very well you didn't have your seatbelt on. You never wear it when you're driving." Finally, the man's had enough. And as the police officer is writing out the third ticket, the driver turns to his wife and barks, "Why don't you just shut the heck up?" The police officer hears that and gets a little upset. He says, "Ma'am, does your husband always talk to you this way?" She says, "Oh, heavens no, officer. It only happens when he's been drinking." So that's a joke from the "if you want to help, don't help" department.
Man.
That guy is not going to be good.
No,
Cupid may not be able to save that
he's
one.
Going.
I don't care how many lunches Cupid goes to. That one might be done.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 21.
21. All right.
So we thank you very much for watching and listening. And as always, don't forget to ring the bell, please, on YouTube. We're at 93 subscribers. We only need 7 more to hit 100.
Almost there.
So maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll get to 99. We'll just live there forever. But anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoy episode 21, and we'll be back to see you next week. Have a good one.